So hello everyone, I Raghavendra Singh welcomes you all. Welcomes you all in the part 2 video of software engineering. Part 2 video of software engineering. I hope you all have watched part 1 video. In the part 1 video we have discussed two units 1 and 2. In this video we are going to discuss our unit number 3 to 5, unit number 3 to 5. So let's start with unit number 3. So today date is 6th of December 2025. It's a very cold season. I hope it is all visible. Yes. So I need to turn on the light. Okay. Yes. So basically what are the topics in unit number 3 which we are going to discuss? That's our the unit name is software design process. Software design process. Software design process. Software design process. Okay. So the topics are software design introduction, design process activities, architectural design, abstract specification, interface design, component design, data structure design, algorithm design, modular approach, top to down design, bottom up design methods, data flow model, data flow diagram, entity relation attributes model, ER diagram, structural model, structural charts, context diagram, object model, user case modeling, use case modeling, sequence diagram, cohesion and coupling, So these are the topics. I think it is one of the uh, lengthy, I can say one of the lengthy chapter which I am going to discuss. It will take some time, so I will discuss in very short or in a summarized way. So let's discuss about software design. So software design is the process of defining the architecture, component, interface, and other characteristics of a system or component. It is a step where what is converted into the how. Okay. Design and process activity. First topic is design and design and process activity. Design process activity. Process activity. Okay. Activity. Yes. Design and process activity. So first is architectural design. So first is architectural design. First is architectural design. Okay. So architectural design defines the overall structure and organization. Okay. Defines the structure overall structure and organization. Okay. Define the overall structure and organization of the system. This involves deciding on the main component, their relationship, and how they interact. Second is abstract specification. Abstract specification. So what do I mean by abstract specification? Means defining the service functions provided by each major component without specifying how they are implemented. Okay. Without without specifying how they are implemented. Without specifying how they are how they are implemented. Okay. Yes. So now next is that is third one is interface design. Interface Interface design. So what is interface design? Interface design defines how different components communicate with each other. It specifies the rules, protocol, and data format for interaction. I hope the visual visible. Yeah. And component design. And fourth is component design. Component design. Component design. Component design. Okay. Fourth is component design. So defines the specific internal working, data structure, and algorithm for each individual component defined in architectural design. Defines the specific internal working. Defines the specific internal working, data structure, and algorithm. Defines the specific internal working, data structure, and algorithm. Defines the specific internal working, data structure, and algorithm for each individual component defined in the architectural design. Fifth is data structure design. Fifth is data structure design. Data structure design. So what is data structure design means? Define how data will be organized and stored. Defines how data will be organized and store. Organized and store within the program. Algorithm design. Define the piece step by step procedure. And now sixth is algorithm design. Algorithm design. Algorithm design defines the precise step by step procedure for solving a specific problem or achieving a specific function within a component. Okay, achieving a specific function within a component. So now start with second topic is a modular approach and design strategies. Modular approach and design strategy. Design strategy. Huh? So modular approach is breaking. Basically, modular approach means breaking the entire system into the independent, highly focused unit. Basically, modular approach mean breaking the entire system into the independent, highly focused unit. Into independent and highly focused. Independent and highly focused units called modules. Breaking the entire system into the independent, highly focused units called modules. Highly focused units called modules. Okay. I hope it is all visible. Yes. So this simplifies the development, testing, and maintenance. Okay. Top to bottom design. What is top to bottom design? Top to down design. So what is top to down design? Basically, it starts by defining the main system function. Okay, main system function. So and recursively breaks it down into sub-function until the lowest level of detail is reached. So bottom up design. Next is bottom up design. Bottom up design starts the designing the most fundamental low level component. Most fundamental low level design, low level, most fundamental low level design. Okay. Components first and then grouping them together to form and grouping them together to form larger more complex function, larger more complex, larger more complex function. Design methods. Third is design methods. Third is design methods. Design methods. Third is design methods. Modeling techniques. These are tools and diagrams used to visually represent the system design. A data flow model. A is data flow model, data flow model, data flow model, data flow model. So basically focus on how data moves through the system and how it transformed by process. Data flow diagram DFT. First is DFT. A graphic representation showing the flow of data. A graphic representation है graphic representation graphic representation show the flow of data, show the flow of data, show the flow of data. Okay. And now next is circles. Like डाटा फ्लो डायग्राम में इसके अंदर आता है क्या, सर्कल्स. फर्स्ट आता है सर्कल्स बेसिकली सर्कल्स में वेयर डाटा इज ट्रांसफॉर्म्ड, एरो. नाउ सेकंड इज एरो means the data moving between the components. Now rectangle. Third one is rectangle. And fourth one is open parallel lines. Fourth one is open parallel lines. Open parallel lines. Okay, where data is held. Now entity relation attribute model. Entity relation attribute model. Entity relation attribute model. So basically entity relation attribute model means focus on data structure of the system. ER diagram. Entity ER diagram means entity relation. Okay, I hope it is visible. Yes. ER diagram means entity relation. Shape diagram shows the main data object, their properties, and how they are connected. Main data object, data object, main data object, and their properties and how they are connected. And how they are connected. How they are connected. For example, our employee entity has a name. Which is attribute, works for like the for relationship, and department like entity. See structural model. Now it is about structural model. Okay, so structural model is focus on the hierarchy and control. Focus on hierarchy and control. Structure charts or structure charts. Structural charts, a diagram that shows the hierarchical structure of module. structure of module, hierarchical structure of module. Okay, hierarchical structure of module and the data passed between them. It is used primarily for top-down design in procedural programming. Now object module. Object module. So object module are basically focus on object classes and their interaction, used heavily in object oriented design. Okay, use case modeling, इसके अंदर आता है क्या, यूज केस मॉडलिंग. यूज केस मॉडलिंग. यूज केस मॉडलिंग describe the functions of the system from the user perspective. Describe the functions from the system. Describe the function. Describe the function. Describe the function of the system from user's perspective. Describe the system. Describe the function. Describe the function of the system. Of the system. System of the function of the system from the user's perspective. From the user's perspective. A use case is a description of set of action performed by the system to yield an observable result to the user. Now user case diagram. Second is user case diagram. User case diagram. So a high level visual representation showing actors and the use cases they interact with. So a use case diagram, basically a high level visual interpretation showing actors, users external or system, and the use cases they interact with. Okay, yes. And next is sequence diagram. Third is sequence diagram. Sequence diagram. So sequence diagram shows the sequence of messages between object over time to achieve a specific result. It focuses on the time order of event. Okay. Now let's discuss about cohesion and coupling. Cohesion and coupling. So basically these principles define what makes a good modular design. Okay, cohesion. So cohesion focus on internal strength of a module. It focus on internal strength of module. Internal strength of a module. Ideal state is high, and simple explanation I can say cohesion basically a module should do one thing and do it well. A module should do one thing and do it well. All elements within the module should be closely related to that single purpose. Coupling. Basically coupling means external dependency. External dependency between modules. Module should be independent as possible. Module should be independent as possible. A change in one module should have minimal impact on others. Okay, so here unit third completed. Let me recall what are the topics which we have discussed. So basically these are the topics: design and process activity, modular approach, design strategy. फिर हमने पढ़ा डिजाइन मॉड्यूल्स, एंटिटी रिलेशन, स्ट्रक्चर मॉड्यूल, ऑब्जेक्ट मॉड्यूल, user case module, cohesion and coupling. Basically cohesion, internal strength of module, one thing do it well. Coupling, external dependency, independent. Okay, now let's start unit 4. So unit number 4, okay. Unit 4 is software life cycle models. Unit 4 is about software life cycle model. SDSL SLCM. Okay, software development life cycle. First is SDLC, software development life cycle. Okay, so basically software development life cycle define the software development life cycle is a roadmap of framework defining all the stages. Is a roadmap or framework. The software development life cycle is a roadmap or framework defining all the stages involved in developing, deploying, and maintaining software. It ensures a systematic and disciplined approach. Is a roadmap. SDLC is a roadmap. Is a roadmap or framework defining all the stages involved in developing. Define all the stages involved in developing, deploying, involved in developing, deploying, developing, deploying, and maintaining software. And maintaining software. It ensures a systematic and disciplined approach. Ensures a systematic and disciplined approach. Okay, a disciplined approach. Main phase. Main phase first is planning. Defining the scope, goal, and feasibility. Planning तो ये तो defining the scope, goal, feasibility. So what is feasibility? Basically feasibility is like if we want to build any software, then is it possible, is it under budget, is it profitable or not, is it problem solving or not. That's all. Now second is requirement analysis. Requirement analysis. So requirement analysis determining the needs of the user. Okay, requirement analysis means determining the needs of user. And third is design. Creating the blueprint. Implementation. Fourth is implementation means इसमें आ जाता है कोडिंग. Implementation means writing the actual program code. Coding, right? So basically I think we have done the same thing in system design analysis also, right? We have studied the topic of SDLC, that is system development life cycle. In this we have done this already. Now again point is testing. So testing means checking the software for defect and against requirement. And again the next topic is deployment. Okay, so basically deployment means releasing the software users. Now next is maintenance. Okay, so basically maintenance means ongoing updates, pixels, and enhancement. Ongoing updates, basically after you have launched any app, then it needs to maintain, like it needs to update time to time. So ongoing updates, really updates ongoing updates. Okay. So SDLC model. Next topic is, I hope it is all visible. Yes. So SDLC model. Second topic is, first topic, SDLC model. SDLC model, we can also say paradigm. Okay. So these models define the order and way the SDLC phase are executed. So waterfall model, first is waterfall model. A waterfall model, which I have discussed already, that what is waterfall model. A sequential and linear flow finish one phase completely before starting the next. Basically key feature होते हैं that it is rigid, no going back easily. Okay. Now best for small project, small project. Okay, best for small project. Stable, stable, well understood. Okay. Yes, waterfall variation. Now next is waterfall variation. Next is second is waterfall variation. Waterfall variation. Waterfall variation. So an extension of waterfall where testing phase are planning parallel to the development phase. Okay, an extension of waterfall where testing phase are planned parallel to development phase. Waterfall variation means an extension of waterfall where testing phase is planned to the development phase. Emphasize verification and validation. Project where the quality and reliability are critical. Prototype model. So basically prototype model. Second, what if third is prototype model. Prototype model. Okay. So basically prototype model means build a small working through way the model clarifies unclear requirement early through user interaction. Project where user interface or requirement vague. So iterative enhancement. Next is iterative enhancement. Iterative enhancement. Iterative enhancement. So basically iterative enhancement means build the system in repeated cycle, adding a small piece of functionality in each cycle. Now spiral model. Fourth is spiral model. Sorry, this was fourth, this was fifth. Spiral model. So basically spiral model, risk driven model that combines iterative development, combines the iterative development with the structured control, with with structured structured control, okay. Each loop include risk analysis and end with the prototype. It is basically risk analysis, a large complex and high risk project. Large complex high risk project के लिए यूज होता है. Now comprehend now comparison of models. इसके लिए comparison of models. The key difference is flexibility and risk management. The key difference is flexibility. Key difference is flexibility and risk management. and risk management. And risk management. Key difference is flexibility and risk management. Waterfall is rigid and low risk for fixed requirement. Waterfall is rigid and low risk of fixed requirement. Spiral and iterative model are flexible and handle change. Now, next is management topics. Third is management topics. What is management topics? Software project management. First is software project management. Software project management. Software project management. Project management. Okay, so software project management means the discipline of planning, organizing, securing, and managing resource to bring about the successful completion of specific software goals. Okay, successful completion of specific software goals. Yes. So key activities I can say are planning, scope, schedule, and budget, risk management, resource allocation, and monitoring progress. Software development teams. Next is software development, software development teams. Software development teams. So groups of professionals with specialized role working together. Groups of professionals with specialized role working together. So project manager, architect, developer, and business analyst. Okay, software development teams uh, may project managers, architect, developer, and testers, business analyst. These all comes in software development team. Okay, next is software development environment. Next is software development environment. Okay, software development environment. This set of tools and infrastructure. This set of tools and infrastructure. Okay, to support the development process. For example, integrated development environment IDE version control system like GitHub, like Git build servers. Quality and life cycle process. Fourth is fourth is quality and life cycle process. 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 So basically validation and traceability. First point is validation validation and transability. Okay, validation and transability, not transability, it's traceability. It's traceability. Okay, traceability. So basically validation is, what is validation? I can say validation, ensuring the final software satisfy the customer's actual needs. Ensuring the final software ensure satisfy the customer actual needs. Okay, and traceability actual needs, like am I building a right product? Traceability means the ability to link every requirement to its corresponding design, code, and test case, making the easy to manage changes. Traceability means making the easy changes. Okay, easy changes and verify completeness. Okay, yes. So now next point is maintenance. Next point is maintenance. Change made to the software after it has been delivered and deployed. Change made to change made to the software after it has been delivered and deployed. Like changes made to the software after it has been delivered and deployed. It is often the longest and most costly phase. Maintenance is longest and most costly phase. Okay. Obvious बात है, like if we will launch any app, then it needs a maintenance, proper maintenance. It needs update time to time and all. Now type can be maintenance type can be maintenance type maintenance type can be first is corrective. First is corrective. What do I mean by corrective? Basically, fixing bugs found after deployment. Okay, fixing bugs found after development. Now adaptive. Now it is about adaptive. So modifying the software to work in new environment. Modifying the software to work in new environment. Okay, modifying the software to work in new environment. Now perfective. Now about perfective. Perfective. Improving performance or usability. Preventive. About preventive. Okay, and prototyping requirement. Now next is prototyping requirement. Prototyping requirement. Prototyping requirement. Using the prototype model specifically to elicit and refine requirement. To elicit to elicit and refine requirement. To elicit and refine requirements. Requirements by showing the users working sample of interface of key features early. Okay, so unit 4 is completed. Unit 4 is completed. Now let's move on to the unit number 5. So what we have done in unit 4 is, before SDLC we have done, now SDLC model we have done, now comparison of models we have done, management topics we have done, quality of life cycle process we have done, and now let's move on to the fifth topic, that is software coding, testing and maintenance. Unit number 5th, that is software coding, testing and maintenance. Software coding, testing and maintenance. Okay, so there are some topics which we are going to discuss. It is also another very lengthy. So coding testing methods: unit testing, integration testing, system testing, acceptance testing, testing techniques, white box testing, black box testing, thread testing, regression testing, alpha testing, beta testing, static testing, dynamic testing, evolution of software products, economics of maintenance, category of software maintenance, role of product development life cycle, deployment model, adaptive maintenance, corrective maintenance, perfective maintenance, enhancement request, proactive defect prevention, problem reporting, problem resolution, software maintenance from customers perspective, maintenance standard IEEE 1219, ISO 12207. Okay, these are the topics which we are going to discuss. I know it's again a very lengthy, so let's discuss about software coding or implementation. So first is software coding and implementation. So basically, coding. What is coding? So basically, coding, the process of translating the software design blueprint. Translating the software design blueprint. Okay, blueprint. So architecture, component, and algorithm into a working program using a specific programming language. Using a specific programming language into working program with a specific programming language. Okay, specific 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 programming specific programming language. So what are the specific programming language? If we want to build any app, then we need to learn about C, C++, Java, Python, and also backend front-end developer. If we want to know about this, then it needs to CSS, JavaScript, and all. Main goal is to create clean, readable, and efficient source code that implement the functional and non-functional requirement. Okay, So basically, to clean, readable, and efficient. To clean, readable, and efficient. Okay. Yes. So testing methods. Now testing methods. Now about testing methods. Testing methods. So unit testing. Testing level is first is unit testing. Individual smallest unit or component. Individual smallest unit or component. Individual smallest unit. Individual smallest unit. Unit testing. First is unit testing. Unit testing. Individual smallest individual. Individual smallest individual testing. Okay. Component. Checking if each small piece of code works effectively in isolation. Integration. Integration testing. Now integration testing. Actually, integration testing means testing how two or more module work together. Testing how two or more module work together. Okay. Work together after they have been individually unit tested. After they have been individually unit tested. Unit tested. Okay. So integration, I can say checking if the pieces of connect and checking if the pieces connect and pass data correctly. Okay. Now testing techniques. Now let's discuss about testing techniques. Testing techniques. Okay. Testing techniques. So white box testing. First is white box testing. White box testing based on the internal structure and code logic. Internal structure, internal structure and logic. Okay. Internal structure and logic. So the tester knows and she definition की बात करें अगर, so the tester knows and sees the code. 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 They create tests to ensure every line of code is executed. They create tests to ensure that every line of code is executed. And second is black box testing. Black box testing. Black box testing. So basically, black box testing is based on the requirement and system functionality. Based on the requirement and system functionality. System functionality. Okay, system functionality. Black box testing means based on the requirement and system functionality. Basically, definition I can say that the tester does not see the internal code. Tester does not see the internal code. Okay. Now next is thread testing. Third is about thread testing. Okay. So thread testing, so basically it focus on a type of integration testing focusing on how the system handle concurrent processing. Basically focus on how the system handle concurrent process, how the system handle concurrent processing or specific sequence of operation. Okay, if definition I will say, then checking if the system can handle multiple tasks. Checking if the system can handle multiple tasks. Multiple tasks. If the system can handle multiple tasks running at the same time without crashing. Running at the same time without crashing. Running at the same time without crashing. Okay, now regression testing. I hope it is all visible. Now fourth is regression testing. Regression testing. Okay, regression testing. So rerunning. See, regression testing main focus is rerunning previous test after the change or fix. Rerunning previous test after running after a change or fix. Uh, After a change. Okay, main so definition, that is making sure that fixing one bug did not create a new one. Making sure that fixing one bug did not create a new one. Okay, let's discuss about alpha testing. Alpha testing. So alpha testing is about testing conducted by the development team. Conducted by conduct Alpha testing means testing conducted by the development team or internal staff at the development site. So early pre-release testing to find major bugs internally. Pre-release testing to find major bugs internally. Beta testing. Basically, beta testing focus on testing the conducted by the small group of real and end users. Small group of real end users. Small group of end user. Okay, end user outside the development site. Main, if definition I will say, then it is testing in real environment before the official launch. A real environment before the official launch. Authentic user feedback. Okay, authentic user feedback. Now static testing. Now about static testing. So basically static testing is focus on reviewing the code, design or documentation without running the program. Focus on reviewing the code, design or documentation without running the program. Without running the program. Okay, so include definition I can say, include code review and walkthrough. Review and walkthrough. Efficient for building early design flaws. Okay, now dynamic testing. Now let's discuss about dynamic testing. Dynamic testing. Testing performed by the executing the program. Focus is by the the program, executing the program and observing the output. Executing the program and observing the output. The most common form of testing. Definition is most common form of testing unit integration system. The most common form of testing. Dynamic testing we use most common. Most common. Okay. Now about software maintenance. Software software maintenance. Okay, so basically software maintenance, a maintenance is the process of modifying a software product after it has been delivered. It is often the longest and most expensive phase, which I have discussed already. Just wait, let me drink the water. Yes. So software maintenance, first is corrective maintenance. I have discussed it already, I think. First is corrective maintenance. Corrective maintenance. Corrective maintenance, adapt corrective maintenance to fix errors and bugs. Adaptive maintenance, which I have discussed. Perfective maintenance. Preventive maintenance, to increase the software feature reliability by making the changes of prevent potential problem. Okay. Proactive changes to reduce the change. Maintenance concept. Maintenance concept. Evolution of software product. 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 Software is the static. It constantly changes and grows over the time. Remain useful. Economic maintenance. Economic maintenance. Economic maintenance. The cost of maintenance typically far outweigh the original development cost. High quality initial design reduce the maintenance cost. Role of product development of life cycle. Role of product development life cycle. Role of product development life cycle. So good practices in uh, initial PDLC. PDLC means role of product development life cycle. Ha, like cohesion, low coupling, and good documentation directly reduce the complexity and cost of future maintenance. Directly reduce, directly reduce the cost, directly reduce the cost, complexity, and cost future maintenance. Cost future maintenance. Okay, development model. Now development model, deployment model, deployment model, deployment model. So basically, deployment model means the method used to install and roll out the software. This must be considered during the maintenance. Okay, now enhancement request. Enhancement request. Enhancement request. A request from the customer to user. Add new features. Add new features. Add new features. It's a request from customer side. Add new features. proactive defect prevention, proactive defect prevention, proactive proactive defect prevention, defect prevention, prevention. Okay. Proactive defect prevention means implementing quality control to stop bugs from the being introduced in the first place. खोलता हूँ 5 मिनट खोलता हूँ. Defect prevention, problem reporting and resolution. खोलता हूँ 5 मिनट रुक जा. Problem reporting and resolution, problem reporting and resolution, problem reporting and resolution. The formal process users follow the report issue, and the process and maintenance team follows the prioritize, fix, and confirm it the resolution. And confirm the resolution. And software maintenance. Now software maintenance of customer perspective. Next topic is software maintenance of software maintenance of software maintenance of customer perspective. Customer perspective of customer perspective. Customer primarily care about quick bug fixes, and timely deliver the new feature. Okay. Customer primarily care about quick bug fix, quick bug fix, and timely deliver the new feature. And timely deliver the new feature. Okay. Now maintenance standard. Now about maintenance standard. So IEEE 1219. A standard defining the activities for software maintenance process. A standard defining the activities for software maintenance process. For software maintenance process. Okay. And ISO or IEC 12207, a broader international standard defining the process of the entire software lifecycle. Including maintenance. Okay. So unit 5 complete here. Unit 5 completed. Let me summarize. So what we did in unit 5 is basically we started from software coding testing methods, testing techniques में हमने ये पढ़ा. Then like इसमें काफ़ी like black box testing, thread testing and regression testing, and alpha testing, static testing, dynamic testing, maintenance standards and all. So thanks for watching.